Hi everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Kyle Charbonneau, and I will be here giving you a training session on leadership. You are all RAs or RDs, so congratulations on your acceptance. How does it feel?
Great. Awesome.
Good. Awesome. Well, like I said earlier, we're just going to be talking about leadership, and we'll get right into it. So first, I wanted to give a quick little session overview. First of all, though, just want to say you got this. This year may be difficult, may be weird. You may run into things that you never expected yourself to run into as an RA or an RD, but you got this. So first, we'll be talking about leadership, kind of what is leadership, what makes a leader, what makes a strong leader in that, which hopefully you all will be by the end of this year or by the end of this session. Then what is leadership, and then what does it mean to lead with a Christian worldview? So this is a Christian campus, as you all know, and you apply to be an RD or RA for this Christian campus. So you will be focusing on trying to lead with a Christian worldview, and we'll talk a little bit about how that works. Then I have 3 strategic key points, or specific key points that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Creating connections, accountability, and being proactive. So we'll go over all 3 of those at a later point. Then we'll have a little engagement, a little Kahoot game that you guys can play, and there's a prize for that. So definitely be paying attention during this. And then we'll have a survey at the end. So a little bit of technical difficulties. Okay. There we go. So, this is a quote that I found. I think it's kind of awesome. But it kind of talks about what a true leader is, just in a general sense. So, the greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He's the one that gets the people to do the greatest things. So it's not focused on you. Leadership is not, I'm going to stand above the rest. It's more about how can I help others stand above the rest. You have to hold yourself more accountable, but you never want to put yourself above anyone else. Can anyone guess or take a guess who said that? Does anyone know?
Ronald Reagan.
Correct. It is Ronald Reagan. Congratulations.
Wow.
So, now I want to talk about what is leadership. So I have a couple of definitions on the next slide, but does anyone have an idea have an idea of what they think leadership really is? Carly, what about you?
Huh?
Do you have an idea of what, or a definition of what leadership is to you?
I'm not really sure. I need help from other people in the room.
Okay. Nick, what about you?
I would say leadership is when you are in charge of a group and you tell them what to do and they follow you.
All right, that's a good start. So thank you very much. Thank you, Carly and Nick, for your cooperation. We will move on. And some technical difficulties again, apologies. Okay, leadership. So what leadership means, as the actual definition defined by Merriam-Webster, is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. So it's really broad, kind of like what you said. It's just leading people, you tell them what they do, and hopefully they follow. But a little bit of what I wanted to talk about is holding yourself to a higher standard. So it's what we talked about earlier, especially within the Christian worldview. But leadership is setting an example for students, connecting with them and providing them an outlet, as well as holding them accountable. So you gotta hold yourself to a higher standard. You gotta set example for the students that watch you and follow you. Because they're gonna see you as their RA or as their RD. And if they see you breaking rules, if they see you doing something that they aren't able to do, like somewhat drinking, this is a dry campus. That is not something that you can be doing. Or getting drunk or anything on campus. Can't do it. Because you are a leader, you are a student. Example, if they see you doing it, what do they expect? They aren't allowed to do it, but you can do it, even though you're the one telling them that they can't do it. Connecting with them. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but it's really, really important to actually make a connection with your residents. Is that if they just walk by you and see you and they just say hi, or you don't even actually connect with them, then all they'll see you as someone who gets them in trouble. Providing them with an outlet. So it's important as well that as you connect with them, you actually like make friendships with that. So, for example, they need to be able to come to you with problems. So even
Hello?
hey Carly, would you mind putting your phone down during this training?
Oh, okay, I'll call you back later.
Thanks for calling. So, like I said earlier, providing them with an outlet. So, you just talk to them, or if they need to come to you with a problem, especially one that they're having with their roommates, they need to be able to feel comfortable coming to you. And holding them accountable. So, you have to hold yourself accountable as well as you set yourself to a higher standard, but also you're there to set the rules and to hold them to that. So, if you see them breaking the rules, even if they're your friend, you can't give them a bar on that. Now to talk about it specifically with the Christian worldview. I talked about it already, but lead with example. So you are a student leader, you are a face of the school. So if they see you breaking the rules, how can you expect them to follow them? Nonverbal communication. So that's another thing that's important with connecting with them. So as you say, walk through the hall and you pass them, look up and smile. Give them a wave. Don't be closed off and turn away from them like you are in your sweats and you have food and you don't want to talk to them. It's important for you to establish that connection and maintain it as well. So, as you walk by them, just make sure your nonverbal communication is up to par. Does anyone have any questions about that? No? Great. And then don't abuse your power. So you are a student leader, you do have a little bit more power. You've been granted this through a scholarship as well, so congratulations once again on that. But make sure you don't abuse it. So you can't go around just telling people what to do. So you are a leader, and you can make people follow the rules, but you can't go around out of your jurisdiction. So like, you can't go to an event on campus and say, you can do this, you have to do this for me because I'm your RA. You don't have power to do that. Just like they can't come in and tell you what to do in your setting. So you have to make sure that like, that's with that again, you have to hold yourself accountable. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? Sorry guys, my computer's acting up a little bit today. Alright, so I wanted to go over 3 key points, kind of what I talked about earlier, but these are 3 specific things that you could do to try to like maintain and focus your RA-RD connections. So the first one, as I talked about earlier, is creating connections. So you want to establish lasting friendships. So like I said, they need to feel comfortable coming to you. So if you just like walk by them, or they like you walk by them, or they're like scared to go by you or anything, and they only see you as someone who has a lot of power, or someone who is able to just get them in trouble. Everything good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Then they won't have that friendship. So a main thing to focus on is like you want to come out of your RA or RD experience with a friendship with your residents too. So you want to view them as a friend rather than someone that was just your resident. Accountability. Hold yourself accountable. You are a student leader, you are the face of the campus. As stated earlier, you need to discipline others while holding yourself to a higher standard. So it's really important that you apply to be an RA. You can't go around and like be confused or be sad that you can't be getting drunk on campus or something like that. This is a dry campus, we all know that. There's no way, shape, or form that you can be an RA and break the rules that an RA has to follow or an RA enforces. As well as that, they'll hold other people accountable. So if you're doing your hall checks at night, if you're in a dorm and you hear a guy in a girl's room and it's 12:30 at night, you have to be confident enough to step in another room and say, hey, I'm going to need you to leave, can you give me your student ID and write them up, or something like that. You can't just say, hey, I'll give you a pass, or just walk right by and do nothing. Because then that makes them think that they can get away with it every single time. So, we do have rules on campus, we have to follow them. Being proactive. reach out in the community. One specific thing that you could do, life groups. Every dorm or every floor has different ones and a different life leader. You going to those life groups is gonna be big for everyone on your residence, on your floor hall. So they'll see you go and they're like, oh, he actually cares. Even the life leaders, like, they actually care. A lot of people, the life groups aren't huge on campus. They aren't the biggest things that campus puts on or even that the dorm puts on. But you going to those, one, establishing your connection with your life leader, and two, being welcoming and open to your students who are there is amazing for them to see, like, he actually cares. Like, he cares about me. It's not just, I'm gonna get him in trouble. It's this person actually, like, wants to be my friend. So something specific like that is like going to your life group or something like that. The small things really do matter. Anyone have any questions on those three? Or what about you? Have you ever gone to a life group before?
Yes, I have been to a life group before.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So now I have a little game for you guys. So we're going to be playing with Kahoot. So if you all get your phones out, we'll play a little Kahoot. As long as it works. There we go.
Oh, sure. Great.
All right, let's go to see well. Nice. All right. We're waiting on one more. All right. Let's get started. So what was not one of the three key points mentioned in the slides? So these are the three specific things that I want to know. Correct, time management. So 4 of you got it right, was time management. Now while that's very important in being a leader, it was not one of the specific things that I mentioned. So we will move on. Heather, in first.
Enjoy it while
Oh, it's tied. It's tied with Danielle.
I have a game.
All right. Who is the author of the quote mentioned about leadership? It was Ronald Reagan. It was not, in fact, more than that.
Man, I wish it was.
All right, Danielle and Jojo. No, Danielle is in first. All right, so last question. Leadership is setting an example for students, providing for them and leading them down a godly path. Is this true or false? That little fun picture. It was true. So the podium. Third place was great. Heather, congratulations on second. So here's the prize.
It's okay. You are the judge.
All right. We'll go back to the presentation real quick and I will end it. So right now, I'm going to be passing out this survey. I'd love for you guys to fill it out. So thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions before we end the training? No? Awesome. All right. thank you. I will end it here then. Please fill out the survey, and thank you for coming.